Welcome to another edition of Mass Mats and Mayhem. I am your host, Justin Harvey. You can find me on Twitter at JustinHarvey75. You can find the entire show on Twitter at MMMShow75. And we're joined today by our logo. I don't know if you can see it down there now. Byron and I have been playing around for like the last 10 minutes with this friggin' logo. Go ahead and introduce yourself, then I'll introduce the logo, Byron.
Where's the? I found the broadcast. I just want to know that I'm pointing at the right spot.
Yeah, it's over here, I think, or is it over here? I don't know.
There's a delay, so can we just pause for 30 seconds?
Lame.
When I do this and then this or whatever, and then I look at the thing and see how it plays, it doesn't help because I'm just haphazardly pointing.
You're just pointing all willy-nilly anywhere, pretty much.
So I think it's right here. Look at our new logo. That's cool. I'm Byron. You can find me at Byron Fever on Twitter, Instagram, and also the PS4 network if you're playing WWE 2K17 and it hasn't deleted your entire digital history of your entire life. Link up with me, and that's I'm not going to play online.
Is that a thing? Is that some kind of known
it's a
glitch?
Well, there are numerous glitches. There are countless glitches, including some very insensitive Owen Hart themed glitches of people falling from arenas. I'm not the one who actually made that glitch, so don't look at me. Don't get mad at me about that.
I mean, I know you're not a programmer. I mean,
there's a thing where first of all, as soon as you get the game, there's an 11 gigabyte patch you have to download before you even play, which is awesome. And then
so it's fixes for stuff that's hard coded.
Yeah,
probably right off the bat. Well, yeah. Hey, at least they know. At least the day the game came out, they were like, "Hey, by the way, that version that you purchased actually isn't complete. Why don't you add this?"
But it's still not good. There's a huge glitch that happens every single game, apparently, where if in the first edition, which I guess 1.1 right now is the first draft of this game, when you're on the menu screen of the game and you put your computer, your PS4 to sleep, then it will delete all of the game saves for the game.
That doesn't sound cool.
No, no, it's happened to a few people.
These sound like things that I don't like.
No.
Well, hey, back to our watermark and our logo. I got to send big props out to Charlie DeMarco, who went way above and beyond, by the way, to hook us up with a very pro-style logo and a whole like style guide and like telling us idiots how not to screw it up, even though I'm sure we already have in like the first 24 hours that we've had the logo. But
I fucked it up actually. I just remembered.
What?
And before I sent this to you to do the watermarking of it, I was gonna hashtag MMM show underneath it.
Oh, yeah, you didn't do that, so now nobody knows where to find us. Well, I mean, look, hey, we can always try another one for next week. That's the one for this week, and we literally, like, hot off the presses just got these new logos. So hopefully we'll have some shirts and hats, and I don't know. I think it got bigger, but I think it could still be bigger.
Yeah.
Am I nuts? Am I crazy here?
Hey, if you have a podcast on YouTube and you put watermarks on it, logos like this, hit us up because we have questions.
The other thing I can't figure out today with YouTube is the picture-in-picture thing that we normally get. Maybe it only works when there's 3 people on the cast. I don't know.
Oh, but hey, that's a bummer.
At least the watermark's there. But yeah, so you can't see me making faces at Byron in the background when he's talking and vice versa.
I don't mind that.
That might be a good thing too. Look. There's a few things to talk about. As you guys may have noticed, the Lucha Gringo is not here. He is on vacation.
Is he oversleeping like usual?
No, that was you.
What a
that
loser.
Was you. That was you that said, let's do this thing at 9 a.m. and then showed up at like 9:52.
I said I will try to make it. And then
I mean, you can't schedule a podcast appearance, say you're going to be there, and then expect that there's still some podcasts left to do when you show up. I mean... It was
Why
fine
didn't
that
you
you
just
showed up
do the
late.
MMA stuff first, and then we could have done the important stuff when I got on?
Well, because people are used to a certain flow of the show. And speaking of that flow, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into Lucha Underground Season 3, Episode 6, The Open Road to Revenge. And all open roads lead to the temple. This one, talking about revenge, geez, oh man. Last week, Dragon Azteca Jr. and Rey Mysterio kind of bonded together at a moment to take out Chavo and get Dragon Azteca a chance to face Pentagon, which is not really a reward in my opinion, but that's what he wanted and that's what he got. And Chavo, right off the bat in this episode, is putting a worse beat down on him than Pentagon might have. Pentagon introduced him, or Chavo introduced Dragon Azteca to his amigo, his steel amigo, right in his face parts. A lot of times.
It was so brutal. I really wish that I was there for the conversation where they are talking to the wrestlers and they go, all right, so Chavo's going to beat you down with these brutal chair shots and it's going to put you out for your match later. And then they tell Dragon Azteca Jr. he doesn't actually have to be in the shot for it.
Yeah. So, well, the very first chair shot he actually took in scene, and then the rest of it was like this first person, like camera looking at the chair, beating it down kind of thing, which was awesome. Something that you don't see in wrestling every week. And, Lucha's coming.
The whole thing it was like a movie, which makes it's almost like the less is more as far as like making everyone be chatty and having them do the stunts for a backstage beatdown. Like you can have on other shows stuff where you have like giant, travel, tour cases where people get pushed into them and it makes a lot of noise and people can actually get hurt. But it looks really lame. Whereas here they shot it like a movie. They had very simple interactions between everyone. They had just the one tracking shot of Rey walking by Chavo, and they didn't really say anything. It was just in the look. But that whole thing just set up the tone. It told the story right. It established all the character relations and all the tension, and it brings you into you invest in the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're even throwing in little backstory stuff like Chavo sees the picture in Dragon Azteca Jr.'s locker room and he says, my dad kicked Dragon Azteca's ass that night or something. It was just like, wow, that's a nice little touch. Weird, but nice.
I got really mad at Chavo for that. That was disrespectful.
Oh, perfectly disrespectful. But this is the kind of stuff that's going to get a guy like Chavo over. It's like, think about all the heelish stuff that Chavo had to do in WCW and WWE and busting his butt and, throwing guys into road cases backstage, like you said, and all sorts of stuff to try to get heel heat. Whereas here you go in a couple of minutes, Chavo is adding heel on top of heel. This isn't just him. This isn't lying, cheating, and stealing. This is beating, wrecking, and pillaging here. This is like a whole new level of Chavo. And here's my theory. I think Skip has realized that this is actually a job now. I think I don't know Skip's full story, and I wish we had asked Eric Van Wagenen maybe a little more about it, but it's like, It sounds like Skip was already working for Rodriguez, and he was part of the network, Rodriguez was kind of like, hey, why don't you go down to the wrestling show that we're doing, check it out, see if you guys can, see if you can throw those guys a hand and kind of help them, understand the look that I like, because obviously Skip knows what Robert likes, so I feel like, Skip comes down there and he's like, oh, we could do this, 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 and this. And it just like turned into this whole other thing. But now, and it was like, he just keeps showing up and they just keep doing it and they do more and it's kind of organic and breathing. But now it's like, no, we're crafting this shit ahead of time. We're blocking it out. We're doing stunt sequences. We're shooting first person. We're adding flashbacks. We're doing tracking shots. And it's not just like making a regular wrestling backstage vignette look cool. Now, they're shooting a movie that is part of the show. I mean, it's just like what they would do from Dusk Till Dawn or one of their other shows on the network. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's incredible. Normally, you watch the season by season on Lucha Underground and you see the adjustments. You can see the improvements. You can see, all right, instead of these colorful characters and the dark, grungy background, now the background was lit and not in like the cheesy way of let's put a blue light behind a couch and shine it on the wall. It's like you have these colors like these reds and yellows and greens and stuff. But now season 3, it starts getting more complex. You're using like a lot more of like the glow in the dark black light paint. Things are getting a lot more intricate, and it's not like the Lucha Underground look. Everything has its own look now, and it's really great. And the scenes though are just Skip had the idea for the first Puma promo.
Right.
Watch old,
but they were it was still just originally a promo. Like, how much of this was really the plan to go where they're going?
I don't think any of it was, because
these Rodriguez-esque novellas backstage.
Well, you have for what everyone's bringing to the table, you have a reality, a reality show presentation, and you have a wrestling show presentation. Like the only person really bringing in this cinematic look is Skip and
Matt Hardy.
And Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy, by the way, Matt Hardy is revolutionizing the wrestling business right now, and I hear he's in negotiations to get to not only shoot a whole episode of Impact at his house, which is awesome because then you don't even have to get out of your pajamas. He wants to buy TNA, change the name to after like one of his broken trademarks. And then
broken TNA would almost be a little too on the nose. I don't think he should do that.
TND, like total nonstop deletion, something like that. And then, but he's also trying to book New Day on that show too. He wants to have just a tag team, whatever battle royal show. I don't know, but
I think you missed it. But my buddy Uncle Tony is in Decay or Delete, and then he was he's the guy in the truck who gets beat up and his pants pulled down and bad things happen to him. But
I didn't see that. What?
No, I think you weren't on the show last week when Casey and I were talking about. But hopefully we'll get Uncle Tony on the show one of these days and talk to him about performing in his underpants and taking a bump to some bushes on TNA.
That sounds professional.
No,
but
stop.
But what I was saying though is like, as far as like the concept, the proof of concept when they put together their show, there was no, you can get some of this in some of the earlier discussions, interviews with like Eric and the people making the show. They didn't have this whole idea until Skip put together that Puma promo. And
and everybody gives DJ and everyone gives DJ and EB Dub all the credit that they rightfully deserve, but at the same time, dude, Skip is on another level, guys. This guy is a baller when it comes to making these backstage segments. And I believe he's listed as an EP on the show too, right?
He should be. I
think he is, because he came in from Network. I mean, he was pretty much Rodriguez's guy.
Yeah. You know, it's like you want Robert Rodriguez to make your show, he sends Skip.
Yeah, he was basically quality control for the look and feel of a Rodriguez product. And you got EV Dub, who was the guy that was there for the look and feel and the quality of MGM and Burnett.
It's
boy,
cool
I bet those guys are having fun this week sitting on those tapes. Sorry, EV Dub. I wonder if people are bugging him like to try to get the tapes from Burnett. And Burnett even said himself, he's like, dude, these aren't my tapes. My company is owned by MGM. I can't just give you stuff. It's not just me here. You have like lawyers and partners and like, Japanese investors. We can't just give away our footage. Like,
I mean, you want to do that, or you want people to do that. But yeah, it's like when you make a show, the network usually owns the rights to the footage that you film for the show because they pay for it. So you really can't do that, and then all the contracts.
Yeah, but it's not a network. It's not a network-owned show. I believe it's an MGM-owned show. I believe.
Really?
Same way. Yeah, I don't think that it's not a. It wasn't a back pitch. So
okay.
I think they actually own the show, and I believe Burnett owns most of his shows. Or co-owns them with the networks. There's a few places like that. A lot of the Pilgrim shows are like that too.
It's just it's a slippery slope when you sell out your talent on a show for whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, I just find it interesting, and I wonder if they're having to deal with that nonstop, because that's just like not what you want to wake up and go to work and deal with, like something from 3 years ago where some idiot said something else, and now you're forced in a position to try to out them. And you know me, Byron. I have filmed and worked with many an idiot where I have not wanted to give up the goods on them as much as I would love to see them be called out for being an idiot.
I can neither confirm or deny that.
That's probably wise because you don't want the lawyers calling you. Match number 1, Dr. Wagner with Famous B versus Son of Havoc and Mascarita Sagrada.
How much fun is it just to have Famous in the ring, just doing whatever? And I
think it's a very bien look for him.
Yeah. I like his new jacket. It's his business arrangement seems to be working out better for him now too, but it's so awesome. It's so entertaining. Yeah,
and here's the brilliant part. All this time, Famous B is doing the right thing because I had completely forgotten that the dude has never won in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Like, he's that mesmerizing and he's that good on the stick that all this time I had I'm like, oh yeah, I can't think of one single match that B has won, which is hilarious. And I didn't remember that until Vampiro so kindly reminded us. And B, you need to get Vampiro on the payroll, man, because he's just out in your whole deal.
He needs a better hype man.
Yeah. Well, that's what he's got Brenda for. And yeah. I love Vampiro's commentary on how annoying she was and how bad her Spanish was and this, that, and the other thing. It's hilarious. Like, how exactly are B and Brenda talking to Wagner? Because they got to be losing something in the translation there. Wagner thinks that he's in the best position ever and has no idea what's going on, does he?
I think they hand him money and he just nods and follows them to the ring and beats someone up.
And here's the thing, and I've said this before. We were talking about AAA, and I said this, and I can talk about this with Lucha Underground now, too. Wagner's old, man. He is somebody's great-grandfather, I think. And this fool, his work rate is still amazing. He is not looking like Vader versus Ospreay here. This is not some dude who is about to collapse, in the ring at all. This grandpa goes and goes good, doesn't blow spots. I mean, dude's freaking amazing for his age. And I don't even know how old he is, but I've known of Wagner since I was high to a hockey puck. So,
yeah. I mean, well, you look at Vader; he has to put his hand on his knee every time he stands up, and Wagner's just
Rey Mysterio has to do that. I mean, Rey is old.
No, but at this point, those aren't even Rey's knees. So.
No, they're Steve Austin's first knees.
He has to ask for permission to put his hand on someone else's knee that's attached to his leg. Wagner was great. That was a fun match. I mean, you have Wagner.
Mascarita got a ton of offense in. That was also amazing.
The motorcycle driving. I remember at the taping, watching. You could see Son of Havoc go do a couple laps or whatever, going around on the motorcycle. And sometimes at the tapings, you get a little glimpse of props like that, and you get really excited, but you don't know what they're for.
Okay, but so now at least we know that Son of Havoc can actually ride a motorcycle, and he doesn't just have to ride bitch to Evilise.
Yes.
Even though it was a motorcycle with a sidecar, which is considerably easier.
Yes. I mean, he doesn't have to balance it, which I'm sure was helpful.
But there was a lot of talk that he couldn't even actually ride a motorcycle. And come on, people, the guy can ride a motorcycle. It's not.
He can ride a motorcycle. He's the man. But when they drove in, and then Mascarita stood up and gave the middle finger, it was the best moment. It was the best moment.
No. He was telling Famous B, "You're number one."
Yeah, you're number one. He comes in, he starts fucking people up. And then he's like firing up this little dude, just firing up, and the whole temple's going nuts. It was awesome. And but one of the big concerns that I had on this match, aside from all the fun stuff, was when they did the two faces to the double dive outside, and Mascarita just go head first. Just plunk right into the bike.
Yeah, and it was like one of the guys in the front row was picking him up like, dude, was I supposed to catch you? What's going on here? But Masky seemed fine.
Yeah.
But the good news is, he was in the ring with a doctor, so everything should be fine.
Yeah, they checked him out.
And, Famous B pinned him with the stethoscope just to check and make sure he wasn't a little short of breath.
Yeah, that was good. I would like that Famous won a match.
Yeah, Famous won a match. What the hell? Get my shoe. What is going on here?
It was awesome, but it's like you have a match with Famous and Masquerita, who are not like full-time competitive people on the show, and they still put together they designed a really great, entertaining match. Everyone had good spots. So I thought that was really cool. And Dr. Wagner keeps picking up victories. I wonder where that momentum will go.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know if they'll put the belt on him. I don't know how they feel. I mean, he's so heavily involved in the storylines down in AAA. Mm-hmm. And it seems like, you know, Tejano and Dr. Wagner and some of these guys that are really entrenched down there, there's not a rush to put the belt on them because they don't really need that kind of rub. But it's cool for them to get the exposure in the States. So, you know, I'd like to see him in some high-profile matches. And, you know, as long as that'd be good. I kind of want to see him versus Daga, but, you know, I think in AAA, Daga is so considerably kind of lower on the totem pole than Wagner that I don't know that we would see that match here in the States.
I haven't seen Daga in a while.
Yeah, where is Daga? Well, didn't Cobra Moon drag him off or something weird last we saw him?
Yeah, in the trailer?
No, I mean like at the end of last season. I don't even remember what his storyline was. He had some kind of storyline going, didn't he?
He had a thing with Cobra Moon, but I don't think we saw what happened.
That's what I'm saying. That's it. That's the last we know of him. So maybe, and she hasn't been around yet this season either. So
no, maybe. But you know who is going to come around?
Who's
the
that?
Rabbit Tribe,
dude. What the trippy what was that whole effing deal?
I just want to see that rabbit in the ring, just doing lucha arm drags
or whatever the rabbit represents. That was another trippy follow the white rabbit thing, and that one was a little even more cryptic. Like,
yeah,
I have a feeling that we're getting, even from what we've seen at live tapings, I have a feeling we're going to be getting a whole lot more backstage than we're even remotely prepared for.
They just need to start they need to bring them. I don't know if the deal is like the Rabbit Tribe just kind of takes their time with everything they do and they're on the way, but then they kind of are like they get sort of like sidetracked by sort of chilling out somewhere. You know?
Well, they might be a little waylaid. They might need a babysitter when they do show up just to make sure everything is groovy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But they gotta get on the show. I can't wait for the Rabbit Tribe to show up.
I'll tell you what we should do, Byron. We should wait to the end of the season, then we should make a video of every segment involving the Rabbit Tribe, and then we should eat like a bunch of acid or mushrooms and just watch them all back to back and lose our damn minds. What do you think?
I don't know. Those are bad things. Like green tea?
Yeah, no shit.
Drink some green tea.
I'm not actually recommending anyone do that because with these segments, I think you'll lose your damn mind. They're trippy enough on their own.
I don't want to promote drug use. I really am against stealing gimmicks from the last real heels.
Just remember, 1 second can be forever. Follow the rabbit. So, match 2. Gift to the Gods.
Yeah.
Casey's favorite sexy star versus everyone's favorite Jack Evans. Jack, what slam poetry, nasty nos, crazy verbal excrement came out of Jack at the beginning of this match? Where did that come from? Oh, well, I'm used to it during that, but then like he cuts this promo where it's just like Def Comedy Jack or something. What's going on?
I want to watch it again.
You should. I don't even remember half of what he said in it. It was just like, what?
It's been fun watching Jack pout the past couple of weeks or past couple of times he's been on, but when he's on the show talking shit nonstop, it just feels like everything is right. And I was rooting for him by the end of it. He gets up there, calls himself the Star Destroyer. I'm like, yeah. I mean, destroy that star. Get that belt, Jack. That's yours.
It's so weird to me too, because people, I'm here to tell you without spoilering anything, the whole Jack Taya Worldwide Underground storyline was shot so out of order for the entire season. I think it was just because certain people could be there on certain weekends. Like, you didn't see Taya at this one, but this was actually filmed before the last one with Taya, I believe, because she came in the second weekend of tapings or couldn't make the first weekend of tapings. So, like, so bizarrely out of order that it's a brand new storyline to me, because I have no clue with what we actually saw in the temple, what was going on compared to what's coming on air. And I wasn't at this taping where Jack cut this promo, so I'm watching this thing like, what the hell? Amazing.
I was at it, but it's funny to watch the audience in the matches. But yeah, this is where like you have DJ talking about how they tried to, on other shows, I think like with the heels, how they tried to mix it up with their taping schedule, so you couldn't really just follow it in a linear path what was going on. But I also think it's just scheduling. Like, I remember Angelico talked about how when he was promoting Lucha Underground in an interview, he was talking about how he was healthy and he was coming back. But that was like while they were filming, and he hadn't been to tapings, and he mentioned he was going to go and like start filming in a certain month. And I realized, they're just going to book him for this time and do all of his stuff then.
Right, and just slide it all in. Why not? I mean, you don't, as long as you have the other talent there. I mean, some talent are going to have to bend to it, because if he's working angles with 6 different people over the course of the season, obviously whatever weekend he shows up, he might do 4 matches, but those 4 people have to be there. You know, everybody for those angles has to be there.
And the way the stories play out, there's like, I'm not exactly sure if there's a consistent cycle, but let's say there's a 4-episode cycle. You're running story and character development for everyone over those 4 episodes. Yeah. So you do like your Pentagon episode, you do your Sexy Star episode, you do your whatever episode, your Weapons of Mass Destruction. Like, everyone gets another notch moving along. And then 4 episodes, and they come back.
It's kind of cool for the tapings too, because then you show up and you go to a weekend of tapings, which can be anywhere from 4 to 7 episodes worth of stuff, and you do get like a complete feeling of what's happening with certain characters, because they'll wrestle 3 or 4 matches sometimes, so you can see them. Now, did you think it was weird? Did it feel weird to you that Taya wasn't there when everyone else is doing their run-ins at the end of this match?
Watching it,
I noticed it immediately. But that's because as soon as I see Mundo now, I associate her with that. And I'm expecting if he sneaks in from one side, that she's going to sneak in and kendo stick somebody from the other side.
I mean, watching it, knowing some behind-the-scenes stuff and being there, I kind of glossed over it. But it is, and then when I saw that it was brought up, I noticed and then immediately thought of why she wasn't there. I think she had some travel issues or something, or an injury, some sort of reason why she wasn't at tapings for a while. And then,
well, it can play perfectly with the story the way they cut it last week, though, because remember at the end of the match last week, she was selling an injury.
It'll be interesting to see how they play with that, how they use that, if they use that as intentional storytelling, or if they are just trying to get away with that she wasn't there that day.
Yeah, and it's weird, too, because with only 3 matches a week, you might not see the next piece of the Worldwide Underground story for a week or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You might not get it next week. Well, anyway, so this match, I'm sorry, I'm eating an apple.
Yeah, that's cool.
Delicious.
I'm drinking this kombucha. I'm trying to. It's really weird. I've never had this before. It's in my fridge. It tastes like it's expired.
Yeah, well, that's just weird. I'm drinking whatever comes behind this mask. I'm drinking a glass of Lucha.
I'm drinking Lucha kombucha.
Lucha kombucha. You got to market that.
Need a t-shirt.
So, yeah, PJ comes in with a distraction. Jack still can't get the pin. Then Mundo adds to the distraction. There's run-ins everywhere. Super Friends make the save. Whatever that butt splash craziness that Aerostar did was awesome. It was just like butt bullet springboard from the ropes onto the floor.
It's a springboard. Something else is called this, but that's really a springboard suicide plancha or whatever. Because you just jump backwards.
But he went butt. I mean, he really
like
went
a
butt
trust
first.
fall.
Yeah, it's more like a trust fall, but he went butt first. So he's got pointy ass coming right down, and it's just like springboard ass drop.
He's done it in the past where he springboards and then cannonballs backwards down on someone, but maybe...
Yeah, and I was expecting him to do that too, but then if he does that, you risk over-rotating and going headfirst into the wooden part of the bleachers there. So I think the way he did it was smart, because if there's any kind of miss, he can put his legs out and catch himself. But it was a cool-looking move. It was really awesome. Weird. I wasn't expecting it at all. I was like, oh, hey, that dude just did something different, as usual.
Making a mark.
Every time Aerostar shows up, he does what no cruiserweight in WWE ever does, which is interesting new moves.
No, they do. No, Metal Leak, who's their hot new luchador that is actually still working for CMLL, I think. He does Aerostar Phoenix's moves.
Who is it for real? It's
Mascara Dorada.
Dorada, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, every time he does the move, the commentary goes, "We've never seen this before. You won't see this anywhere." And it's like one of their tamer moves.
Well, exactly. And I'll get in more of that later, because I want to talk about some WWE today, especially since Case Fabe is not here.
Fabe. Yeah, well, soon, Casey.
Where did Sexy Star got the kendo stick, and she gave Jack Evans a gift of the gods right to his jewels of the family there, right up in the sack. You love those. Oh, come on.
It was kind
of of all people who loves the dick shot are going to criticize Sexy now when she finally gets one? I thought that you would pop for this.
There's a better way to phrase that, but no, it was awesome, but it was a little soft of a hit, which that's fine.
Yeah, but first time you're going to do a kendo stick spot to somebody's nads, I think it's okay to be a little ginger with the shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not going to hold that against her.
And I'm hoping that they didn't have to rehearse that shot a whole bunch of times backstage. I mean, this is like you just want to go in there, do one shot, and be good with it. Like so,
like Jack takes some socks and balls them up, and then just puts them in the taint part of his tights.
I hope so. Well, I mean, look, it's payback for his culo dive that he's been doing on everybody.
Culo dive? And then he talked mad shit the whole time. He said that he was the Star Destroyer, and then he played Sexy Star like a puppet and said something, "Quien es el luchador todo," whatever. Who's the best luchador in the world? He says it in Spanish.
Yes, your Spanish is almost as good as his, the way you pronounced it.
And then, he lives in Mexico. I don't.
His pronunciation was specifically bad on purpose, I think.
El luchador el mejor in entire mundo. And then he moves her mouth and goes, Jack Evans.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
He's amazing.
It was great. But there was a lot of action in the match. I think Sexy Star shined more than usual because they did garbage stuff outside the ring, just like her Fuck You match. And she really does better with that, I think.
Well, and great. And that's what they should keep doing with her, because I'm entertained by it. It's, again, I call it the Shane Douglas factor. It's like, Shane Douglas could go in the ring a little bit, but at the same time, he had this intensity of performing that when he just worked the outside and ran around in the crowd and smashed people with stuff out in the audience, it went over, and it was like, great, we can do that. That can be a part of wrestling. It doesn't have to be back and forth running the ropes 10 million times. If that's not somebody's strong suit, let's not have them do it. Let's custom tailor, like if she's over and she's a huge star in your promotion and, running the ropes for 20 minutes doesn't get it done. Like, look, she's great at that falling star drop thing that she does off the top rope. Like, she can do that great. We should see that in every match. And this week was particularly good. She got some serious height. She's coming at the crowd. It was cool. And
it was cool to see her do that on just Jack too, right? Yeah. Because normally she'll do the dive onto a bunch of people. No, it's like that's a great high spot. She does not run the ropes or bump in the corner well at all. Her timing is she's slow, and her timing's weird with that. But if you take that element completely out, you're left with her connection with the fans. She really fires up really well, and she can throw people head first in the ring posts. It's just, it becomes all pluses, all highlights.
And that's the way you should keep it. Protect your wrestlers, bookers, protect them, make them look good. And I think they did that here with Sexy Star.
Yeah,
and I like the kendo stick to the nads for the win too, because it's like she's not getting over clean. Why should she? These guys have never gotten over clean on her. It makes sense for the storyline. I love the Super Friends running in. I want to see them in some more matches, but and I'm almost upset that it's taken some of these guys out of singles competition. But at the same time, every time the Super Friends are coming to the ring now, you're getting just this crazy high spot fest stuff.
Yeah,
because each guy is running in and just doing they're getting their shit in, and it's awesome.
When you look at Super Friends and what they're doing, you have those three. You have and Sexy Star, and then you have the Worldwide Underground people. That's like 8 people that if you don't put them in groups, then that's like, if you want to put them all on TV, that's 4 matches. That's already more than 1 episode.
Well, and that's what they were doing first season with most of these guys, or they were feuding with each other and whatnot. So let's go into vignette number 2.
Yeah.
Dario checks on Dragon Azteca Jr. on the phone, and apparently he's in the hospital and he's lumped up for real. So it looks like he's going to be having an extended stay. And Dario kind of looks over at Chavo like, all right, you're right. He's jacked up, so I guess I have no choice but to put you into the main event. And Ray, woo, Ray comes in and says, no way, it's me versus this POS. He actually said the words, though. He said, Rey Mysterio Jr. said, piece of shit, Chavo.
It's been, I don't know how many years in the making for someone to call a Guerrero a piece of shit on a wrestling show.
But it was Ray.
Yeah.
It was Rey Mysterio Jr.
Oh, kids look up to him.
Oh, which is amazing, which is great. Because you know what? Little kids say shit all the time. But you know,
he said that, and you're like, oh, shit, Ray just cursed at him. But then you're like, but it makes sense.
No, like it made perfect sense. But at the same time, I was like, oh, we have turned a corner, people. This isn't just Sexy Star in the heat of battle. This is like a pre-planned, pre-written vignette. Rey Mysterio, it was written on a piece of paper. Like Ray comes in, calls Chavo piece of shit, and says he wants in the match. Like somebody, like DJ wrote that down, and then Ray said it. Like how
he did
DJ's got to be doing this right now. Like.
Yeah,
I just wrote Rey Mysterio calling Chavo a piece of shit.
But it's awesome. It's another one of those things where they're just so efficient with every bit of their storytelling. Especially like this is a refined storyline that has
like look,
so
Ray
many
versus Chavo, but Ray versus Chavo is not a new feud, and it could easily put some people kind of sleepy time, but. When you do that, you have Ray walk in and say something like that. It immediately, I was like, oh, hey, we are going to a new place here. Chavo is throwing beatdowns like he's never thrown before on, you know, a young guy coming up. Mm-hmm. Ray is dropping curse words into this guy's face, which is, and I like the fact that they did it backstage too, so that Ray can, it's like, they caught a candid moment with Ray backstage of what he's really like compared to him coming out to the ring and doing his babyface gimmick for the kids and the fans and whatnot. It's like whenever he comes to the ring, he shouldn't be that character. But when he's backstage, he absolutely should be. And it makes perfect sense in this world of like, no, here's this veteran guy that's been dealing with this dude forever. They have 20 years of history that goes both directions of being friends and being on opposite sides of stuff. It's just amazing. I love this vignette. And then, you know, and Dario saying that he wants his churro and eat it too. Hilarious.
Oh, amazing. By the way, shout out to churros. I was at Universal Studios last weekend, or a week at some point recently. I was at Universal and I had a churro for the first time in a while, and it was a highlight. They are amazing.
Yeah, they're cinnamony and sugary and buttery and crunchy. What's not to love about a friggin' churro?
Yeah. By the way, if you can, send churros to the MMM show at MMM Show 75 on Twitter.
Yeah, don't send churros. You can just go down the street
churros.
And buy. Byron, we live in Los Angeles. There's no place in Los Angeles that a churro isn't within like a 3-minute walk of your home. You know that, right? I'm just saying.
I just really want a churro right now. No, that was a great segment, and it was awesome. But it's
Dario
really cool.
has a mic ready to go in his drawer.
Of course.
That is like the most brilliant touch to it of everything of like, no. And for when I want to walk out and make an announcement, I don't go out and tell somebody to give me the stick. I have one ready to go and just click it on and walk out.
He doesn't want one that tastes like another luchador. That'd be weird. Have someone else spitting in it all the time.
I don't want to know anything about promoters knowing what another luchador tastes like.
Oh.
Just saying. So match number 3. That was our last vignette, whatever that French word is. And now it's time for match number 3, which is now going to be a 3-way with a certain skeleton ninja.
Before we get there, didn't they recap the Puma Mil Muertes stuff?
Oh, yeah, with the new recap 3D logos that are moving like this.
The whole Ken Burns thing. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that we talked about it on this, I think the second episode. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I dug it.
They're getting way fancier with all that stuff. Every episode's another step in. Just the show is great creatively. The show and the performers are awesome, but just the presentation of the show keeps getting better and better.
What are you talking about? Those are good apples. They're green. They're delicious. Hey, match 3. Pentagon Dark versus Rey Mysterio versus Chavito.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chavo. Dario first he announces the switch up, and I don't know, maybe it's because he's a skeleton, maybe it's because he's a ninja, but I didn't really see Pentagon really giving much of an F. He was pretty much just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Put whoever you want in here. I'm going to break them in half, Dario.
He's just out there to fight. It's awesome. Pentagon's running on all cylinders.
Somebody tells me I got to wrestle 2 of the best luchadors in modern history that are still getting in the ring. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be like, hey, that's not cool, man. Pentagon's just kind of like, whatevs.
Well, I don't think Chavo is really that highly regarded in the Lucha Temple, which goes to show you, like he's been much more of like a backstage person on the show. I think the last meaningful thing he did was feud with Blue Demon Jr. in the first season.
Well, and get his arm broken by Pentagon.
That was awesome. But I think I was just wowed by Chavo. Like, I think this whole program is Chavo and Rey doing some cool shit and putting over Dragon Azteca Jr. and Pentagon Jr. But Chavo's like the MVP of this episode, the A storyline going through with him and Rey and Dragon Azteca leading up to the match.
Which is great because, look, Chavo's a producer on the show and an agent backstage, and he could be pushing for himself more. And I feel like he's been biding his time to have his spots be meaningful and do stuff the right way that makes sense for his character. And he's not in a huge rush. Like, I also, and for Chavo too, it's probably not as big a deal because he does still get to show up and get a paycheck. He doesn't have to perform necessarily to get his paycheck, which is the kind of liberty that all of the older wrestlers need to be looking for when they look for a promotion, where they can have the most meaningful impact, still have storylines that make sense and get them over in the grand scheme of things. And Chavo is the perfect example of that. I mean, this storyline fits perfectly. You know, he's working with his buddy Rey, even though I love Vampiro bringing up the history with Rey's uncle not booking Chavo Classic and some of the other stuff. Like, Vamp got a little into it there.
There's Vamp probably has history and beef with almost anyone in Lucha history.
Yeah, Vamp almost pushed it a little bit, but he kind of eased back into just commentary there. But it was kind of cool, and I bet Chavo hadn't heard that commentary either. So I wonder what he's thinking about after hearing that last night.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of hinting at some of that stuff with the backstage Dragon Azteca versus Chavo Senior kind of stuff, but Vamp starts breaking down
Chavo Classic shout out.
Yes. So, but Vamp starts breaking it down on the reel, which is awesome. So I hope Chavo Classic shows up now that they're mentioning him. That would be kind of cool. Just because he's a fun character, and I liked a lot of the stuff he did in WWE. I can't say I saw much of his in-ring work back in the day because I'm a little bit young for that. But
it's always good to have another Guerrero around, I think.
Yeah, why not?
But
Chavo,
it's really cool though. Like it, but when you look at Chavo getting his spots and getting his airtime in this match, and with him going over even a little bit, I still hear you.
Okay, go.
Now you're back. So like with all of that, with Chavo getting a shine a little bit this episode, it's everything still has a purpose for someone else. Like even his beef with Ray, it's to get people invested in Dragon Azteca Jr. And he's getting revenge, his own selfish thing, his own storyline against Pentagon Dark. You know, that's putting over Pentagon Dark, getting him familiar, bringing the people who know him casually, who know Ray casually, and investing in these new people that he's associating with. It's really. I mean,
if you really think about it too, this is a match. This three-way match could headline arenas anywhere in the world. Tell somebody like, hey, for our main event, we've got Pentagon, Chavo Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio Jr., and that's going to be our main event. You book the rest of the show after that, you'll still sell it out, like anywhere. Yeah. Could be a WWE event, could be AAA, could be CMLL, could be in Spain, could be in Ibiza. Like, it could be anywhere. That would be a huge match, and here it is. It's just another Wednesday night on Lucha Underground.
It was a really good match.
And it was funny, too, because I'm looking at my watch, and I'm like, there's not that much time left for the match. But then when the actual match happened, it felt like it went 20 minutes, and it was probably less than 10.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole episode seemed to kind of move really fast and go by without really knowing it.
And not a ton of vignettes. I mean, that middle match was really the longest one, I think. But there was a lot of recap and a lot of in-ring stuff, and Dario coming in and talking. And we didn't even have a Dial of Doom segment this week, so anyway, pretty cool.
That's something that maybe you and Casey talked about last week, about how that seems to be running its course, how Matanza keeps getting closer and closer to losing, and that he should have lost to Puma last week. So maybe storyline-wise, Dario is dialing that back.
Maybe he got a little worried about it. We'll see. Interesting theory, though. So, yeah, I mean, look, the match, I don't even need to talk about the match. You just need to go and watch it. I popped really hard for the crowd popping for the Three Amigos and the Eddie chant starting, especially considering this week was Eddie's birthday. Yeah. Very appropriate that, he basically got shout-outs on WWE and Lucha Underground this week, which are well-deserved. And, the finish is exactly what it should have been. Pentagon goes over. I can't believe. Of course, the week Casey's not on the show with us is the one time in like ages that Pentagon's gone over. Because if you guys haven't heard, he doesn't even have the AAW belt anymore. He jobbed it out to Sami Callihan.
Did he lose the Perros del Mal vanity belt that he was carrying around, where it's not even a real title?
I think that's actually his belt. Like, that's the belt he holds his pants up with. I think that's like his belt.
No one's taken it from him yet?
No, I think he got that from Macy's. Like, I think you can't really take a man's belt that holds up his pants.
I don't know. If it's Pentagon Jr. and AAA, I would not put that past them.
Well, dude, he loses everywhere. Look at his stats. Pentagon somehow is the world's best jobber.
No, but that Chicago show, Sammy was their former champion, and then Pentagon won it for a while, and he sat it for a good time, and Sammy got it back. Pentagon beat Sammy, I think. It was like 2 nights back to back.
Yeah, I think he beat him Friday, and then he dropped the belt back to him on Saturday.
I think that's fine, and I also think that there's other issues with that. Like, maybe they know they're not going to get. They won't be able to book Pentagon for a while.
Oh God! So of course it's fine. I'm being totally silly. Oh. The fact of the matter is, when a guy like Pentagon is around and he's that over, the simple fact of the matter is he doesn't need a belt. The belts exist as a promotional tool to get your promotions over and your guys over. Pentagon doesn't need that. He's so over. Like, why put a belt on him? It's like, there's a reason why Chris Jericho doesn't need a belt in WWE. The guy's freaking over. Every segment he does is gold.
He's better than anyone not named AJ Styles in WWE.
Well, and that's why. And I was going to talk about this later too. It's good that they split them up, but I'll get into that in a minute.
But it was totally a thing where AEW was smart, where they put their belt on Sammy for a while, and that got them some notoriety. But as soon as they could, they put it on Pentagon. That really made people look at them.
Well, and how badass is it that Sammy took it back off of him, and now Sammy looks like a superhero? I mean, that's just now they're bringing eyeballs in, and they got some credibility. That's what you do with your belt, people. That's how the game is played.
But I thought the finish with Pentagon going over, and he went over clean on Ray too.
Yeah,
in a three-way with Chavo, Ray takes the pin.
Yeah, which is you can't tell me that that's not freaking amazing. And I would bet anything that Ray was the one that said that should be the finish.
Right.
I would bet anything because, honestly, if they booked that finish, and even if he didn't come up with it, if they booked that finish and Ray doesn't want to do it, Ray doesn't have to do that finish. I mean, he took a neck spot, a brutal sit-out Pentagon driver neck spot for a clean finish. Like, Rey Mysterio does not have to do that, people. By any stretch of the imagination. Ray could very easily have been like, guys, can we do a little softer finish than that? And everyone would be like, okay, sure, Ray. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to try to force that finish down his throat. So it was either his idea or he signed off on it very willingly to put Pentagon over. And then Chavo gets the beat down afterwards. The Psycho Chavo afterwards was amazingly awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, you've never seen that kind of fire out of that dude as a character ever until now.
Yeah, he's pure evil. Like, he's never been evil. He's been dastardly.
Yeah. And like, who can get heel heat after a Pentagon match better than Pentagon? That was great. Like, I was really impressed. I was like, damn, I didn't know Chavo had it like that. And again, I wasn't at this taping, so I hadn't seen any of this. And I was like, dude, Chavo took it to another level.
I don't think I saw that match live.
It might have been the second weekend of taping on the Saturday because I was there on the Sunday.
But yeah, it just cemented my belief like on this episode, which I thought was a really strong episode. It was really good. It was a very simple, straightforward Lucha Underground episode.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm actually going to give this episode a 10, which I don't normally do, but it had Pentagon on it, which is one of the requirements kind of to get a 10. And even though it had a Sexy Star match on it also.
It had a really good one.
It was working with Jack Evans, which is kind of another one of the requirements for an episode to get a 10.
Yeah.
The surprising part is that it did not have a ton of vignettes that were furthering the mythology, which is another thing that I normally really look for in my really high-ranked episodes.
Yeah.
But the simple fact of the matter is I turned on this episode, and there wasn't 1 minute of it that I didn't enjoy. And as good as Lucha Underground is, there's usually some moment where I'm like, that was whatevs. I did not have one of those. I was invested in the whole thing. I thought, and maybe because my expectations were a little bit lowered for this episode too, I didn't think this was going to be a through-the-roof episode. I was kind of looking at the lineup earlier in the week, and I was like, this week will probably be whatever. You know, it'll be just a kind of a filler week to get us back into some storyline stuff. Nope. It was great. Start to finish. Loved every minute of it.
It was great. It was that less is more. But Chavo, out of nowhere, Chavo is like he was the MVP of the episode.
Absolutely. Hands down.
Which is great. I mean, Chavo's the man, and he doesn't try and get that credit. And he's had a lot of difficulty, I think, getting credit or having his own respect given. Well,
we're doling it out, and believe you me, if Chavo sucked, we'd be the first ones to say it. And in fact, we have. I mean, we've been critical of the Chavo Blue Demon angle, and that he wasn't finding great ways to use himself in the past, and now he is. So kudos to him. Let me talk a little bit about WWE. I know you're going to love this, Byron. I actually have some WWE notes this week. I watched No Mercy. I watched Raw. I didn't watch SmackDown, which is funny because I've been liking SmackDown better.
SmackDown's the thing to watch.
I just didn't have time to get to it. I'm probably going to watch it as soon as we're done with this. But what did you think about the triple threat match coming at the very beginning of the pay-per-view, which a lot of people cited happening because of the debate between
I was hearing
and Trump.
I was hearing, it was just weird, but I was hearing that there was some sort of big gimmicked ending they were going to do at the end or something. Like those are the rumors I was hearing until you said the debate. Then I thought, they probably want to hook people or at least get people to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, look,
But
wrestling fans and flyover states, they like debates, believe it or not. And I think that, with the ratings that the debates have been pulling,
they're killing
this
everyone.
was probably a smart choice, especially with what the finish was going to be. And why not? Why not mix it up every now and then?
Well, especially because the rest of the show was kind of, aside from the Miz and Dolph match, the rest of the show was uneventful, was forgettable, really. It was like
some of it was. I mean,
show.
Look, I liked the wacky finish in this match. Just staying on this match for a minute. A lot of people didn't. What was wrong with the wacky finish, with the AJ getting double tapped or double submitted, and then the restart, was the ref didn't make very clear signals, and it was almost like the ref didn't know the booking, and then the announce team didn't really sell it the right way. But if you watch it again and watch it with the sound off, watch what AJ and Cena and Dean do, because they sell it perfectly. And I'm here to tell you, folks, I'm not watching for the announcers or the ref. And it's a shame when they become a distraction, because what the workers did for the booking of that spot was perfect. The timing was to a T. Everybody was selling it right. They did it in the right part of the ring to not botch it. I think the ref just panicked and botched it and didn't know how he was supposed to do the restart.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's a spot that's been done a bunch of times. It's a spot that WWE down at NXT has done. They did it when they have Angle and Benoit, or Benoit and Jericho, where you have submissions on different parts of the body, and that they don't like each other, so they're both trying to win the match. I mean, they did it in a three-way. They've done it in tag matches. It's just, they've done it. But the body language, like you're talking about, the way the ref handled it was, you're watching him kick out AJ after the submission and then restarting the match with the other two. That's his body language. That wasn't the match.
Right, because what you want is to say, oh, no, we're restarting this match, and this guy just got cranked so hard from the double tap out that he's going to be out of it for a minute. So then you forget about the performer, but you don't think that he's out of the match. You just think he's hurt off on the side. Then he runs in and gets his win.
And I think people know that, which made it all the more confusing. Instead of looking at what Ambrose and Cena are now doing, they're still back at that moment going, but why did he just kick AJ Styles out of the match? And
yeah, it was weird. It was kind of wackadoo. But I liked it. I liked how it played. I liked the ultimate finish of retaining the belt. It worked for me.
I love the belt. I love the chair. Cena hits his thing, and then AJ just walks into the belt, hits him with it, and gets the pinfall. Like, obviously, come on,
it's genius.
He's in a lot of pain. He's probably like, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's just end it now.
The Ziggler Miz match, I gotta say, I thought the match was great, but I get the finish, but I just don't see why Ziggler needs the belt.
Well, they painted them into the corner, I think, with that career versus title. I don't think he needs it. I want Miz to hold the belt still.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I don't even know if Miz really needs the belt. And honestly, I feel like there's so many other talent on the WWE roster. These guys are relatively over. I think Miz at this point can probably get over more doing kind of a temper tantrum bit of not having the belt, that it's probably good that he doesn't.
He had a great face after he lost it. That was...
Yeah, Miz is great. And I'm not as big on Dolph, but I just, the finish was kind of like, I want to see where they're going. The simple fact of the matter is they overworked these two guys together for so long that they kind of had to go here. But they got to write them out of this angle. We need some other people in this top of the mid-card mix with these guys. This angle can't keep going. It's not sustainable anymore. It needs to breathe a little bit. Maybe this is the way to do it. I don't know.
I kind of feel the other way, where I kind of feel over on SmackDown. I mean, I kind of just look at it as there's kind of a soft reboot. So like those matches where like Dolph and Kofi Kingston have fought like every week for like a year at a time. Like I kind of reset on those, and everyone's kind of in new gimmicks. So I'm not feeling that with these guys. I kind of feel like they let these guys who know each other try and take the lead on their stories. It kind of seems like a mid-card, like Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho sort of thing. Where, I mean, but maybe not as effective.
But it's done it. It's been effective because you have to understand that even when you're talking about big angles like those, you don't feel them. You don't feel the presence of those mid-card feuds until after they're over. Yeah. That's when you realize how great they were. That's when you realize that it went somewhere. And then these kind of guys move up to the top of the card, and you look back on the history, and you're like, wow, that guy was a great IC champ, or that feud, or that Steamboat, or whatever. Like, those guys, like, deserve main event spots because of that mid-card thing that they did. These guys have done it now. Now they got to find a way to propel them further into storylines, use them to get the rub on some other guys at the middle of the card, and bolster the whole roster. And speaking of bolstering the whole roster, man, I got to tell you, the women's division of SmackDown is still pretty much the Divas division. I don't even know why they got rid of the Divas belt, you know, especially like you see it without Becky there or without Natty or somebody involved. Oh my God, it is just really, it's like the worst hair-pulling Divas division out there.
I don't know, I kind of disagree, but I also think that the female wrestlers on the show I think they're better than the Diva. I mean,
you disagree, but watching but I don't Nikki Bella versus Carmella and Naomi versus Alexis Bliss on a pay-per-view didn't make you feel like you were watching old school Divas hair. Like I would have rather it been a bra and panties match.
Nikki Bella has really transformed herself into a decent wrestler. I'm not the biggest fan of hers, but from everyone in the old Divas era, she fits in with the wrestling era, female wrestling era. But you have Naomi and Alexa Bliss is a wrestling match between one person who's all right and another person who's still super green in the ring. She got promoted because of her character work, and you know she has a good presence. Good. And she can do the appearances. She can sell the T-shirts and the merch, do the Make-A-Wish things, but she still can't work in the ring. I mean, they're putting them up before they can really go in the ring anyway. Like Dana Brooke should not be wrestling on live TV. She can do the other stuff, so they put her on TV as a sidekick. But
my whole thing is the way that it's going to get elevated, what they need to do, because even some of the better ones haven't had a chance to be in the spotlight the right way yet, and they need to work together. They need to put all these strong wrestlers, or most of the strong wrestlers, together on one show. Let the other girls work the angles for a while and have one solid division, because they really have an opportunity right now to do something big with this women's revolution in wrestling. But by the brand split, I think this is the one thing that has been hurt more than anything. Like, imagine if they were doing the cruiserweights right now on two different shows. That's what it's like. I also don't really care about the cruiserweights on Raw. I think they're not even letting the cruiserweights do their thing. But I'm conflicted about the brand split with the Divas, because on one hand you're going to have Sasha and Charlotte just fight on every show. And then on the other hand, which is ridiculous, which is why, again, I want Becky over there. I want Natty over there. I would even take Nikki Bella over there.
Becky would never be champ with them and Bayley. I mean, she was never champ with them in NXT. And I think it's great that she's getting the recognition that she deserves. I think SmackDown actually has a roster that they can work with and develop, a female roster, and they can improve upon. Slide in.
So Becky's got to be the king of the mountain over there, but then you need to throw some of these other girls to the other side. You need to throw Carmella over there. I mean,
Carmella is not good in the ring. She should still be wrestling and working in NXT. I mean, I'm baffled by that. Alexa is okay, but she's still
three women's titles now in this promotion. 3 women's titles.
Yeah, but if you take like in 6 months, if you have Asuka and you have Ember Moon up on SmackDown, That's going to be way better than
And then
Raw.
what are you going to have on NXT? Like then you need to get rid of the belt on NXT.
It's developmental. They'll have someone else to bring in someone else. There's always new talent coming in. There's always new talent around the world. And
we'll see. I don't know if the Japanese workers are either going to come up together or they're going to all stay on NXT. I don't see them not all coming up together. Like if Shinsuke stays down there, Asuka stays down there, I think you bring them all up together or you don't at all.
That's another thing about NXT is that they're hedging a lot more on building the brand than getting the most out of their assets. And that's how you have a guy like Hideo Itami spending his whole career in NXT hurt. That's why you have him, who should be on the main roster, especially like he got that WrestleMania moment. He should be on the main roster, and now some scrub, I don't know if it was Riddick Moss or some other idiot, on a power slam drops him on his head, hurts his neck, and he could be out for a long time. Also, a neck injury is not like recovering from a broken leg. And this is a guy who had all the momentum in the world, had it taken from him by his buddy Finn, who came in and was immediately cooler than him. And then he gets hurt while they watch his Shinsuke come in and be way cooler than him. Like, how is Hideo going to get the belt with Shinsuke around him? And then he comes back and does his matches and he looks good. But you watch the NXT match, you watch the show on NXT, and no one's getting up. He's yelling to the crowd. No one cares. It's Hideo Itami. It's this guy running around.
You know what you do? You know what you do? You do what Jericho did. You leave. He goes back to New Japan, Ring of Honor, or somewhere else.
He's from Noah, which probably means he'll be wrestling. And if he goes to Noah, he'll be doing that Noah New Japan angle.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. At a certain point, the cards just get stacked against you, even if you've done everything right. It's just not even. Some of it's luck, some of it's timing, some of it's some other guy took your spot. I mean, look, Shinsuke has a spot. He's not getting it from Shinsuke, and they can't move Shinsuke up right now because they have to have some kind of flagship down there on NXT. It's just that simple. There's no reason to move Shinsuke.
But that handicaps them a little bit because you have guys like Shinsuke, you have Samoa Joe, you have these guys who are not up and coming rookies. These guys had their careers. They're on top of the world, except they haven't gotten that WrestleMania gig. And so they're in WWE now for like the last 5 years at most, maybe, of their career. And these guys wrestle brutal styles. And I mean, maybe they're not going to let some idiot power slam them on their head. Maybe their styles work better to where their health is more in their hands, their safety is more in their control. But you're still taking on their bump card in a house show in front of 5-year-olds whose parents pay $10 for a ticket.
Yeah, that is what it is. Just quickly with the pay-per-view also.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. I love Heath Slater and Rhino.
Yes.
I love everything about the angle. It's not even where I would have gone with the whole angle. The United Colors of Benetton version of the Usos is interesting. They're doing almost exactly what they've been doing, just in different clothing, and for some reason, that's working for me. Like, I just wanted to see something a little different from these guys, where they've kind of run the same shtick over and over again. And again, the roster is not super deep, so they're going to be always in the tag team hunt on SmackDown. They're not going to have time to go off and work some crazy side angles. So this is, I think, the best you could do with them right now, and it's working. That's all I can say about it. It's working. It's not super great yet. It's got time. It's brand new for all of them. Yeah. We'll see where it goes. Bray Wyatt versus go ahead.
Well, I just want to say the Usos, there's been a big complaint about them when they were up and coming. They were on Main Event, I think. They were on Superstars, whatever it was, when they were faces stealing the show for forever until they got brought up. And it was cool, but they got run into the ground, the same stale act. They're not as high-flying as other people, but it's cool that they were doing some high-flying stuff. But they just got super stale. And also, they were just like, they were the Samoan stereotype team. They wore face paint. They'd make jokes about how you couldn't tell who was who. But they're on like all the other shows, on Total Divas, on all the other segments, the promotional stuff, anything not in the ring on a main show. They had personalities and interactions with people.
That's great, and they just need to. I think they just need to come out with that and let it come out. Let them do a little heel turn where they can be a little more themselves and try some things that may or may not work. Same thing they did with Rocky Maivia. It worked for him.
I think they should team up with I think they need to put them. My opinion. I think we disagreed. They need to go with that other Samoan guy, Roman Reigns. Kind of modify, but
I'll tell you in a second what I think should happen with Roman Reigns, and you'll see. Let me see what you think.
All right.
So Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, surprisingly good work rate to me, but it was tough to end the show with that. I get why they did it. I think maybe Dolph Miz should have ended the show, this could have been a good co-main, just considering the whole flip flop. But I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew how well the Dolph thing was going to go over, and maybe they would have considered doing that. Or maybe it would have telegraphed the Dolph thing too much. But because of the Dolph thing, I think like you had the Heath Slater Rhino thing, you had the Dolph thing, and then this kind of felt flat because the stakes weren't there. But I love the backstage psychology angle that they're using for the whole thing. I think Randy's been doing a great job with it, surprisingly, because he's not a character I would see doing this kind of mind games angle with Bray Wyatt, but it's working. It totally works. The ending with Luke Harper, it's like, really, this is your big finish? Like, the return of Luke Harper? Nah.
I'm happy Luke Harper's back. I don't care about the ending. I really see a lot of Jake the Snake in Randy's promos, at least when he was younger.
Sure, I can buy that.
I mean, he would do – they'd be kind of slow and boring by today's or even by that time's standards. But I do see that element in him. And I think the Bray stuff is probably fun for him. It's like a challenge. I didn't care about the match. I don't remember anything about it, and I was not invested, and I have no faith in. I love Bray Wyatt, but I have just no faith in his presentation on the show, so I don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, because you know that it's just going to get abandoned. Like every angle he's in just drops at some point because there's no way to finish them without Bray Wyatt actually murdering somebody or killing off the character. Yeah. I mean, Bray Wyatt's character needs to be on Lucha Underground where he can actually murder somebody to finish an angle.
Yeah, he got to murder Kane for a while, and he almost murdered Daniel Bryan, which they should have done. He wasn't going to wrestle anymore anyway.
And those angles were great. Those are the angles you remember because of it. Even though they unwrite it later, whatever. It's fine. You can unwrite it later.
And then he jobs to Kane like on last pay-per-view for no reason. Yeah, no big deal.
Talking about Raw real quick, because now we've talked about the SmackDown brand. I didn't watch the episode, the follow-up episode, but the opening, Rusev shooting on Charlotte and Sasha was classic. No one cares about your women's revolution was the hottest line of the week, even with the crazy stuff that Jack Evans said on Lucha Underground. Rusev, God, I want them to let this guy talk more.
Oh, they need to let him loose. And I want to see him next week on like Jericho's show with a clipboard, just with a list of people who have higher video game ratings than him.
And I'm sorry, like the dude is just awesome. And the way he cut the promo, and it let Charlotte get a little bit of a pop and remind people of why they like Charlotte. I mean, look, Charlotte took the high spot on the Raw match a couple weeks ago with the twisting whatever craziness that was off the top rope onto the floor. Like, she did lay it out there. This is what they need from the women's division. They need safe, high spots that can turn into highlights forever. That was one of them. Charlotte has it this month. She has the biggest high spot in women's wrestling this month. It was her, not Sasha. And this kind of was a great segment to me to acknowledge that and let her get the pop by having, Rusev actually be a bigger heel than Charlotte for a moment. And it's making me think, God, they have missed the boat here in turning Charlotte face. I still think that she should have gotten out of the whole angle with Flair, her dad, by going with a big face turn on his ass. Like, that was just, I think they botched it with that one.
I think she was pretty bland as a face when she was starting and getting comfortable on Raw. And doing the heel thing allowed her to comfortably kind of interact with her dad. And she can insult her dad. He can help her with that. And I think that helped her grow into her Raw presence.
Yeah. But, maybe. I'll tell you what else, though. I like the team up here of Charlotte having to work with Rusev. And I liked Sasha with Roman. And I really feel like that could be a great angle. I think they should pair up Sasha and Roman. And I think Roman should be and I think you throw Enzo into the mix too as Sasha's friend who's always trying to tell her how much of a tool and a D-bag Roman actually is, but she doesn't notice Enzo, and she doesn't even realize that he's flirting with her constantly, and she's just all enamored with Roman, and it kind of like takes them all into this weird tweener heel area where you're just kind of annoyed with all of them, but the angles could be great, and I think it would get Roman over so much better if you let him play the douchebag character that people want him to be at this point. Like, if he's Sasha's boyfriend, everyone will hate him for the right reasons, and he could be pushing her in matches, giving her bad advice, you know, flirting with other women without her realizing it, and you put Enzo in there giving Sasha some how you doings and whatever and trying to flirt with her, and but clearly in the friend zone. That's the kind of angle that WWE is missing to make all this shit mean something and to get some heat on this women's division like they really need it. That was just my idea.
I mean, I think I have an issue with relationship angles that are fake on the show nowadays with how behind the scenes they are with everything. It's just, I also...
but WWE is also great at putting people together on camera, and then all of a sudden it becomes a real thing. People dump their boyfriends and girlfriends, and then they all go, like, what do they care about people's real lives? Put them together anyway, because it's good for TV.
Roman ditches his family, beats up that video game nerd, costume designer husband.
That kind of thing is happening in all of our favorite wrestling promotions, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
That's true. I don't know. The last time I saw WWE writers try and turn that into an entertaining storyline, that was Dolph and Lana and Rusev, and it was awful.
Yeah, but I mean, they have Sasha flirting with both of these guys anyway, intentionally, but the chemistry comes off weird because it's not really the full angle. They're just trying to get, cheap chemistry for the night for one-off matches with, with Cass and Enzo or with Roman or whoever. It's like, no, you gotta play the storyline and then we'll believe it. It's television. People write a TV show.
Yeah. Sasha does have history with Roman back in NXT. I think just like friendly history. At some point she posted on Twitter like a picture of her and Roman. I think when he was up and coming, she was making a joke with him or something, but
I just think it could work. The other matches I want to talk about from Raw, dude, Cesaro and Kofi was super sloppy, and mostly on Kofi's part, which was surprising to me.
Really?
That angle...
He's kind of sloppy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, normally he's sloppy in an exciting way, but that was just kind of like, dude, what kind of ring rust do you got? Have you missed the springboard spot and this, that, and the other thing? It was kind of like, what is going on here? At this point... a lot of people are thinking that the only way for the Cesaro Sheamus thing to make sense is for them to take the titles off of New Day. But at this point, they've gone so long. Let New Day break the record, and then let none of those guys ever hold a belt ever again in their careers. Like, let's just let them break the record. They'll be famous for that. They'll still sell merchandise out the wazoo. Just keep it going. Sell your T-shirts. Don't even like Sheamus and Cesaro is hopeless. Cesaro needs to be in a whole different thing. He's great. Sheamus is not. It's a really weird story. It's like they're just kind of like piling disappointment on disappointment and hoping that it turns out nice. Yeah, and they're killing Cesaro's career in the process. So I just hope I hope it goes where it's going and goes there quickly. I will talk quickly about the so they also set up a women's Hell in the Cell match, and just kind of finishing my theory there. I love how they're doing that. They're doing 3 matches in there. I hope it's sandwiched in between. So that you can have the high spots on some of it be other places, because the theory is right that the women can't take to the next level without some time in these matches. Yeah. Charlotte and Sasha having this match is great. Then they can take that experience level to the other girls, to the other women in the division. You have to have that. Like, cage matches aren't great until you have the Freebirds get into one, and then they can disseminate it to everybody else that they ever wrestle, which is everybody, And Charlotte and Sasha have earned that spot, and it's great. Like, I hope they don't try to push it too far. Like, I hope there's not a fall off the top of the cage, but I hope that there are a couple of big spots, maybe a high climb, back fall, something a little safer. Let them get in there and get the feel for it, because it's absolutely clear thinking that unless you do that, unless you let them get the feel for that, it's never going to get any better. So they have to be in these big matches. They don't, with the lack of intergender stuff, they can't get into the Royal Rumble. They can't be in Money in the Bank. So they have to start creating these matches for themselves. We have to have a women's ladder match. We have to have a women's Hell in the Cell. It's part of what pops the business. It's part of what pops the smart marks, and it's absolutely necessary. So I'm happy they're doing it. Bayley,
I think it also just on the Hell in a Cell thing. I think it also. I'm really intrigued or not intrigued. I think it's almost a perfect fit to put them in the Hell in the Cell in an era where you can't purposely bleed in a match.
Yeah.
And how do you have a Hell in a Cell match where you don't have the brutality cause the people to bleed? But then when you have two female wrestlers, then that kind of like lowers that desire to see that kind of brutality in a match.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah, I don't want to see them gigging themselves all up in the head. Like, this isn't ECW. Like, I just want to see a couple of decent high spots, no botches, in a good, clean match inside the cage. Let's see a couple of high climbs without a fall. You know, get the drama in there. I think it could be really good and it could elevate things. We'll see. Bayley squashes Cammy Fields, aka Holly Dead, a.k.a. one half of the NWA Western States Tag Team Championship with Thunder Rosa, a.k.a. Cobra Moon.
Casey
would hate all of that.
If Casey's driving right now, he just probably had the sudden urge to just drive his car in the oncoming traffic. Face.
Well, anyway, so yeah, Cammy Fields, who is killing it on the indies, is Holly Dead.
Yeah, she's great. She's super cool.
She is super cool. I'm going to say, however, that I did not think this was the greatest showing for her on Raw. No. I don't know if the lights were getting to her or what. Like, there were some spots that were there, but Bayley kind of overshot one thing, and she didn't really recover from it, and then she missed another thing. And I felt like the refs sent him to the finish fast, like somebody, Gorilla, was yelling at him.
To Bayley.
Because a lot of people have asked, like, hey, how come Cammy's not in Lucha Underground or some of these other places? And I'd like to see her in a spot like that. So we'll see. Like, look, she got on Raw, which is awesome. She was, local talent in California here, and great to see her on there. I was really, like, hoping to see just a little bit more and have a cleaner match, but it was really a match for Bayley to do a squash. And honestly, some of it's Bayley, too. It's like, dude, I've seen a lot of these Bayley squashes, and she did a ton of them in NXT, and they just aren't fun to watch to me.
She doesn't do well, and her character, I don't think, is designed for a squash match.
No, and she's kind of an awkward body type that not many of the other girls have worked with. I mean, they're used to working with shorter girls, and like, that size thing is an issue. When people are working together, you got to know how to work with a certain size frame. And Bayley's a little bit difficult. She's a little bit long and squirrely and weird. And Bayley is still a performer that needs to be working with somebody who's slightly better than her. She doesn't make people that are not as good as her look good yet. Yeah. Which is part of the criticism from a lot of people, that she wasn't ready to be brought up, even though character-wise and storyline-wise she was, clearly. Work-wise, Bayley's still a little bit green too. So kudos to Holly Dead for getting on Raw. I thought that was cool, and hopefully they loved it, and we'll see more of her in some big avenues.
We'll see. Well, it was not a good match.
No, it wasn't. I'm not going to lie about it just because I like her. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, it wasn't what I wanted it to be.
Yeah. I think they knew while it was happening.
And TJ Perkins beats the other Daivari, which is now pretty much rendering the fact that the CWC even happened pretty pointless and meaningless. Like, I love the Brian Kendrick. I like TJ. And I just, I see them developing his character. At least he's getting some camera time. Brian's getting some camera time. They're trying to let it develop, but they need more angles. They need more stories. The Sin Cara tag team match or whatever, like, why is this even in the cruiserweight division? I don't understand it. It has no storyline. It has no relevance or purpose. And
it's because they added a roster guy into the division. They're starting that.
Which is fine, but at the same time, it's like the way they're working. Like, dude, when everyone is out there, when you got guys like Ospreay and Ricochet and these dudes like all over the place, juniors and cruiserweights all over the world making a name for themselves and revolutionizing the industry, they're doing flippy shit. And it's like WWE can try to get back in the game, but if they're not going to, they don't have to go the full-on Ricochet versus Ospreay here, but they're going to have to learn to incorporate some of the flippy shit, because the only reason the cruiserweights exist is for smarks. There was not a demand from casuals to bring back the cruiserweight division. It was a demand by smarks. The people who popped for CWC were smarks. And if they're not going to appease that a little bit, then why the hell are they doing it? It's not going to sell a bunch of merchandise. It's not going to get over. If you're not going to present it a certain way, don't do it. It's just stupid. That's my rant about it. I got to get out of here shortly, so I quickly want to talk a little bit about UFC. Ronda Rousey returns versus Amanda Nunes at UFC 207 on December 30th, people. And maybe afterwards she faces Juliana Pena or Cyborg, because I don't think any other women, even the former champions, are going to establish themselves with big enough wins before then to set up anything other than that. Pena, however, if you haven't heard this girl talk, oh my God, go listen to MMA Hour this week. Go look at her interviews that she did after she heard about Ronda coming out. She's calling Ronda a spoiled brat for getting the title shot that she doesn't deserve it after losing. Pena hasn't lost. She took out all the same girls as everyone else from Ultimate Fighter. She beat everyone they put her against. She's a beast. She really should be fighting Nunes, and I really kind of thought that was going to happen before Ronda came back, and then whoever won that would get Ronda. And don't get me wrong, I think Ronda has a chance of beating Pena or Nunes, depending on what Ronda we see and if she's tightened up some holes in her game. She needs to still get rid of her coach, but that's another story. But it's very interesting to see her back, and I'd really like to see Pena work into the mix. But Pena is now talking smack about she does commentary for Combate Americas, and she might go and fight for them if they're going to pay more money. I don't know if she's going to try to get out of her UFC contract or if that's just, yapping away. But look, hey, Ronda's coming back. That's exciting, right?
I think it's cool. I mean, it's a cool headline.
Yeah, and dude, people are going to watch. There's a level of interest. I mean, it's really going to be not about. I don't even think it's about the belt or not. It's really just more of a, can Ronda still do it? Is she that person that people thought she was, or is she something else? Gina Carano did the same thing when she was the top dog, but never came back. And I think that's actually adding interest into Ronda's story. And then if she does win this one, or if she beats Nunes and Pena or something, it'll be interesting to see if she just does the super fight with Cyborg, either at a catch weight or if Cyborg can finally make the weight down. People do want to see that fight. That one will be really huge, pop a big number, and that could be the kind of paycheck she could walk away after. Like if she takes that fight, that would be a good one to retire after.
Would Cyborg want to do that fight?
Yeah, of course Cyborg's been wanting to do that fight forever. Cyborg doesn't want to cut to 135, and if you watch some of those videos that were posted and whatnot, and I put them up on my Twitter, go look at my Twitter. I don't want Cyborg to cut to 135. J-Man and I were talking about this yesterday. I don't want her to ever have to do that. I'd love to see a non-title fight, Cyborg versus Ronda at 140 pounds. Just call it what it is. It's a super fight. Walk away. Whoever wins, wins, and that's it. Yeah. And never do it again. No trilogy, no nothing. Just do it once. They'll both get paid $1 billion. Nobody will fault Ronda if she loses and moves on. Nobody will fault Cyborg if Ronda wins. I think it's just a win-win case. But, yeah, Ronda needs a comeback fight before that, and we'll see what happens. Michael Bisping versus the Hendo controversy is ridiculous to me. There's so many different ways you could score that fight. People, this is why you don't let it go to the judges. If you have a problem with Hendo losing, I'm sorry. I scored it for Bisping. I had 2, 3, and 4 for Bisping. Even though Bisping got knocked down in the second round, I thought he dominated the whole round. Other than that one moment, and I thought that he did it with stronger shots than what Hendo got with the knockdown. So, I mean, to me, you can't completely discount 4 minutes and 50 seconds for 10 seconds. Now, the first round was a different case. A lot of people are arguing that was a 10-8 round for Hendo because he almost finished Bisping, and I would agree if Bisping wasn't handling him for the majority of the round. So I have that 10-9. That's just my thoughts on it. Again, you could ask 150 people, and I think you get a different answer from every one of them. Many knowledgeable people in the business saw it the way I did. Many knowledgeable people in the business saw it for Hendo or gave that first round a 10-8. People, these are the fights that you love. We'll talk about it till the end of time. I don't feel bad for Hendo. I think it was a great way for him to go out. I feel terrible for Bisping because now he's got to fight 4 of the meanest dudes in the world are what he's left looking at, and there's not going to be another number 13 guy for him to fight. So good luck, Michael. Hope you enjoyed being champ because one of these dudes is going to try to break your freaking jaw. Conor, and I know we were talking about this one earlier this week. Conor was fined $150,000 in 50 days community service. That's 5% of his purse, I believe, for throwing the bottles. That's what the NASAC came up with at the end of the day. What'd you think about that shit, Byron?
I think, well, number one, I think that Dana needs to handle. I think everyone either knows that it'll happen or agrees, but Dana needs to handle this because Conor's out there selling pay-per-views for him. Like Conor is making all that money by doing that stuff. And like, yeah, Dana's not the one finding him, but it's like, it's this whole thing where like this.
But Dana's also saying like, look, man, I paid the guy enough money that he should be able to cover this. Like at the end of the day, the 5% is only of his guaranteed winnings. It doesn't. I mean, he got 3 or 4 points on the pay-per-view too. I mean, let's like.
Yeah, he's making so much money. Yeah, it's like he's fine. I guess in a way,
what's
Dana already
$150,000 in a year where you make $50 million.
Yeah, so I guess Dana already took care of it proactively. Like he's like just paying him to act like an idiot and get in trouble as long as whatever.
And now what worried me was the amount because it's like, dude, other fighters can't afford that, but at the same time. The amount was based on the percentage of his guaranteed pay or his win pay. So if they keep it at the percentage, that's good. That'll be a deterrent to guys to do. It's like, crap, if I got to give up 5% of my paycheck if I do something stupid.
Yeah.
But if you look historically at it, like John Jones and Daniel Cormier physically put hands on each other. Cormier threw a shoe. They knocked over the whole backstand. They beat up Dave Schaller inadvertently. That was crazy. And those guys got like, $2,500.
And
that was in the MGM in Vegas. Like that was an actual blemish on the city of Vegas. Like in a public area, they did that and didn't get the same kind of fine. Like
Conor's a villain on the biggest. He's like the biggest entertainment villain in the world, and so when you have other motives, I think this company or the organization that's finding them, I think they're also trying to look for funding out of this because they're trying to like find them $300,000. They're trying to I think they're talking about how expensive or how much it costs to run. I was just reading stuff on Twitter, but basically they're looking at an opportunity for them to get more operational funds at the expense of someone who they don't feel bad taking it from.
Well, and I think that's what happened. They did. That's completely what happened. And funny thing, since we were talking about Dave Schaller is leaving the UFC, who's one of their main bookers and big wigs there. Like everyone's leaving, guys. There's definitely new owners in town. Dave Schaller got a job with the Philly 76ers. More power to him. Godspeed, Dave. Hope you have a good time there. Sad to see you go from the UFC because I actually really like Schaller. And he's been super cool in the past. I've met him a couple times. Really nice guy. So Godspeed to Dave Schaller. And I hope that this means some interesting shifts in the UFC. But definitely we are officially, with Joe Silva and Schaller being gone, the Fertittas being kind of out of the mix, even though apparently – Lorenzo Fertitta himself helped negotiate Weidman onto the MSG card, even though he's no longer a real owner. He's supposed to be a silent minority partner. Anyway, I find it all interesting. We'll see how this kind of stuff plays out in the UFC. I got to run. It's been fun. We've talked about some stuff. We'll be back next week with Casey. Hopefully we've got some guests that we've been trying to book forever, but our schedules and their schedules are just terrible. And hopefully you'll see some T-shirts real soon. Big shout out to Charlie DeMarco again for creating our logo, and big shout outs to all the people who need shout outs. And maybe we'll do a guest spot on Coop's show too. He's been asking us to come over there. So I don't know if he can do all 3 of us at once or what, but maybe we should go do Coop's show one of these days.
He catered the show he did with the Heels, so I would expect him to cater us as well.
Oh, wait, we got to go there in person?
I don't know. No, he sent them money so they could buy booze, I think.
Oh, sweet. So we can buy food for ours because we don't do booze. We do food.
I'd probably use my money to pay rent instead.
Well, maybe we should all come over to your house. We'll order the Greek place and send the bill to Coop.
Yeah, or we could get pizza again and just have everyone somehow get the flu from a pizza.
Yeah, let's not do that because your cat walked on it, dude. Billy Fever walked all over it.
You see it? She has. Oh, I have to take a picture.
Yeah, it's her. All right, I got to get out of here.
Okay.
So,
stay in the mix.
God damn son of a bitch. Stay calm, man. Stay in the mix.